6 in a critical condition. Police say they've arrested the alleged shooter, a 19-year-old man. They say he recently obtained a gun license. President Vladimir Putin has ordered Russia's government to immediately begin work on tightening gun laws. Patrick Reevell, ABC News, at the Foreign Desk.
Airstrikes in Gaza and retaliation following weeks of violence in the region. ABC's Jordana Miller's in Jerusalem.
Sirens, Gaza rockets, Israeli airstrikes, and explosions. Hamas firing over 150 rockets on southern Israel, most of those shot down, but still forcing 1 million Israelis to sleep in or near their safe rooms. In Gaza, Israel carrying out the most intense airstrikes on Hamas targets in years.
The FDA has approved the Pfizer vaccine for kids as young as 12 in this country. The CDC expected to give the go-ahead for the shots to be administered starting this week. The White House says at least 1 million Americans have signed up for insurance through healthcare.gov's special pandemic enrollment.
While the last president tried ending or limiting Obamacare, President Biden has extended the enrollment time for 6 months till mid-August. He also expanded who is eligible for those government exchange health plans, which help lower premiums and encourage more without insurance to get it. The White House saying the 1 million newly insured is a 9% increase for the year.
ABC's Andy Field in Washington. Colonial Pipeline working with cybersecurity experts to get its supply line back up and running after that ransomware attack forced it to take its computer network offline this week. You're listening to ABC News.
I'm former U.S. counterterrorism officer Drew Berquist. In a one-party controlled country whose policies continue to move further to the left, it's hard to find a group willing to stand up for the right. That's why we created Mammoth Nation. We're standing strong for all Americans. Mammoth Nation is America's conservative discount club. As a member, you get great discounts, massive savings on travel, shopping, wireless, sporting goods, even prescriptions. Membership supports conservative businesses and the causes that you care about, like the Wounded Blue. For every total wellness plan purchased, Mammoth Nation will donate a plan to a police officer in need. This provides critical support to our law enforcement community. It's just one of the things that makes Mammoth Nation so great. And it's so affordable. If you join now, you get a 30% discount on a lifetime membership. Normally $299. This month, just $199, which pays for itself in just a few purchases. Maybe just one. So go to MammothNation.com and become a lifetime member today.
A police officer in San Luis Obispo, California, has been shot and killed while serving a search warrant. Another officer is hurt. Police returned fire, killing the suspected shooter. A Texas tiger is still on the loose around Houston, but cops say they have arrested the guy who owns it, a suspected murderer. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
Residents of a Houston neighborhood were shocked to see an adult tiger prowling around their yards on Sunday.
My dog and I could have been the next snack.
You don't know how it's going to react.
This is where we walk every day.
A man claiming to be the owner hustled the cat into his home, but drove away with it as police showed up. Hours later, Victor Cuevas was arrested, but attorney Michael Elliott insists
my client is not the owner of the tiger. He's not guilty of any crimes.
But he is out on bond for a 2017 murder. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
California's governor pointing to unusually warm and dry conditions over the last several weeks, now declaring a drought emergency in 41 of the state's 58 counties. A new study says climate change is putting the world's coral reefs under even more pressure. Experts now say reefs could stop growing over the next 80 years if the world continues to heat up at its current rate. For the first time in nearly a year, Lafayette Square, the park across from the White House, is now open again to the public. It has been shut down since the U.S. Park Police cleared out Black Lives Matter protesters the day then President Trump walked across the park for that photo op. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Today, we have a small chance of seeing a few passing showers early. By this afternoon, we'll be dry and temperatures will be cool, only climbing into the upper 60s and lower 70s. Overnight, we'll fall into the upper 40s and lower 50s with cool temperatures again tomorrow. Highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s, but showers are going to roll in early in the morning and stick around into the afternoon before clearing out. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Beautiful day shaping up here in the foothills on this wonderful, terrific Tuesday morning. We're 58 degrees, warming up to about 71. The winds will be a little milder today, only 5 miles per hour. Now, a little rain coming, but by the weekend, it's going to be another great Chamber of Commerce kind of weekend. Friday, mostly sunny, highs around 69. Saturday, 74 and sunny. And Sunday, 76 and sunny, but a little wind gusting there on Sunday. And Monday, beautiful day and wind gusts to 13 miles per hour. The wind factor is still with us here in May. Glad to have you with us on this terrific Tuesday morning. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for letting WCAB, your radio station of choice, to wake up to. Now we'll have these death announcements. Kenneth Monroe Ken Bowen Jr., age 72 of Forest City, died Sunday at his home. Funeral arrangements are pending and will be announced by the Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory for Kenneth Monroe Ken Bowen Jr. Doris Lee Adams, age 93, passed away at Henderson Care Center on Saturday, May 9th. Graveside service will be held 1 p.m. Wednesday, May 12th at Eternal Hills Memorial Park, and Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is serving the family of Doris Lee Adams. Dolly Graham Barnes, age 93 of Spindale, passed away Friday at Hospice House. A celebration of Dolly's life will be held at a later date. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory Service is in charge of the arrangements for Dolly Graham Barnes. June Evelyn Bright Whistnett, 85 of Forest City, died Sunday. No services will be held, and Washburn and Dorsey funeral and cremation services serving the family of Evelyn Whistnett. David Reed Don Sisk, Sr., age 81 of Rutherfordton, died Friday, May 7th at Mission Hospital in Asheville. A private service of committal will be held in the Cool Springs Cemetery. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements. An online guest registry available at pagetking.com for David Reed Don Sisk, Sr. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. For the complete information on these and others as they become available to us, be sure to tune in this morning at 11:35, and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report. We'll have the full edition of the obituaries as they're given to us here at WCAB. Braves were off last night, but they will be back in action again this evening against Toronto Blue Jays. It's a 6:05 airtime, and we'll join the pregame following News 13 at 6:30. Now, the first pitch is not until 7:20, so you won't miss a thing. Just be sure to tune in. Stay tuned, as a matter of fact, throughout today for our excellent programming here at WCAB, and then hang around for the Braves. This reminder coming up on Saturday, May 15th, the wrestling team and cheerleaders of Chase High School having a car wash. The Roses parking lot from 9 until 11 on Saturday at the Tri-City Mall. Pre-sale tickets are available at Chase High School office from wrestlers and cheerleaders for $8. Drive-ups will be welcome on Saturday, and it'll be $10 that day, but still a good cause to support the wrestlers and the cheerleaders. And a community yard sale Saturday, May 15th, 7 until 1 at Pleasant Grove Baptist Church, Pleasant Grove Road in Rutherfordton. Rush Limbaugh Morning Update is coming up next, and then we'll get to the phones and make our calls around the county.
There's a scientific magazine out there called Nature Climate Change, and they just published a new study about sand. Now, the scientists that conducted this highly scientific, very scholarly study tell us that by the year 2100, almost half of the sandy beaches in the world could be gone. They might be gone. They maybe will be gone. Maybe due to climate change. The study's lead author, a guy named Michalis Vousdoukas, says it's likely that half the world's beaches will be lost. Of course, minorities will be hardest hit. West African nations could lose 60% of their beaches. Now, those of you who live on the world's beaches have 80 years to do something. You should start now, immediately. While you still can, you should begin stockpiling sand. Start putting sand in your storage lockers today. If you start saving your beach sand right this minute, in 80 years, you'll be in great shape. Your beachfront neighbors will have no beach, but you sand savers will still be able to enjoy your beachfront property. Well, you might be lucky. In 80 years, it could turn out that you're part of the 50% of beach owners whose sand will not be affected by climate change, and then you can sell the sand that you've saved for a huge profit. Either way, it's a win-win. Become a sand prepper. There's no downside. And think of the turtles that you could attract to your property if you're the only one that has any sand left.
Newt Gingrich explaining the worst kind of identity theft, a crime that can cost you your home and is not covered by insurance or standard identity theft programs.
Your credit card company found suspicious charges on your card. That's simple identity theft. It's annoying, but they cover it. The crime you really need to worry about is home title theft, because it can cost you your home. The title documents to our homes are online now. The thief simply forges your signature in a quitclaim deed stating you sold your home and he's the new owner. Then he borrows money on your home and leaves you in debt. You won't know until a late payment or eviction notice arrives. That's why I have Home Title Lock. The instant they detect tampering with my home's title, they help shut it down. You need to protect your home's title now.
Go to HometitleLock.com and register your address to see if you're already a victim. And enter RADIO for 30 free days of protection. That's promo code RADIO at HometitleLock.com.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and grandpa and grandma need them.
Thank you, first responders.
This is what I signed up for as a first responder. I am constantly worried about being exposed to this virus and potentially bringing it back to my home and my family. I'm going to continue going to work day in and day out and providing help to those that need it.
We look out for the helpers because they look out for us. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Love you. Mwah.
Be safe, look after yourself, and look after one another. Thanks.
Learn how you can help first responders in your community by texting BRAVE to 24365.
Stay in touch with your tax dollars. Listen to the Commish Report and the School Board Report each month live here on WCAB. The reports are heard the following morning after the meetings. WCAB, keeping you informed as well as entertained.
Good morning. Good morning.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Come take advantage of the springtime sales event and get the automobile you've been wanting. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City.
Have you ever played penny ante poker? If you were really bad, you may have lost as much as $20. In the Old West, there wasn't such a thing as penny ante poker. The May 9, 1885 Kansas City Journal tells the following story of a poker game between a Texan and Major Drum. The Texan was never named, but Major Drum was known as a gambler with great natural resources. The Texan proposed a game with an ante of 1 steer and no bid limit. Major Drum dealt the first hand. A steer each was anteed, and the game opened with 4 steer on the table. Major Drum drew 2 tens and caught an unexpected full house, while the gentleman from Texas struck a bobtail snag and passed out. Plain jacks are better to open. It took 3 deals before the gentleman from Texas drew 2 jacks. He opened with a fine breeding bull, which counted as 6 steer. Major Drum covered with 5 steer and a heifer, and then raised him 12 steer. The Texan had drawn a 3rd jack, so he threw in 12 steer to cover the raise, and raised Drum 50 steer, 20 heifers, 4 bulls, and 25 calves. Major Drum placed on the table 6 cows, 5 bulls, 102-year-olds, and 50 steer. The man from Texas made his bet good with 250 steer, 14 Mustangs, and his ranch on the panhandle of Texas. The man from Texas showed us 3 jacks. Major Drum showed 3 aces and walked away with steers, heifers, bulls, Mustangs, and a big stock ranch. The man from Texas walked away a penniless cowboy. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, it's a terrific Tuesday morning here in the foothills, the 11th day of May, and we're on to the phones right now to find out what's been happening around our neighborhood. And right now it's 16 past 7. Let's check in with Sheriff Chris Francis to find out about things in the county. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. Hope you're doing well this morning.
I'm feeling good. Hope you are.
Yes, sir, I am.
Good. What's been going on in your department?
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 123 calls for service. There have been 21 arrests processed to county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 170. Among those arrested, Devontae Marquare Hill, 28-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear, received a $2,000 secured bond. Later in the night, was served with a child support warrant and received an additional $500 cash bond. Elena Marie Bailey, 20-year-old female of Hendersonville, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 unsecured bond. Wesley Jonathan White, a 33-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with assaulting a female and trespassing, had to see a district court judge for bond. Susan Marie Palmer, 43-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with obstruction of justice, resist, obstruct, delay, and driving while license revoked, received a $10,000 unsecured bond. Samantha Elaine Tyner, 31-year-old female of Mooresboro, was charged with a probation violation, received a $10,500 secured bond. Carrie Montana Hobson, 25-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with resist, obstruct, delay, and received a $500 unsecured bond. Chelsea Renee Loveday, 30-year-old female of Ellenboro, was charged with misuse of 911, larceny, 2 counts of failure to appear, received a $2,500 secured bond. Among our incidents, we had a financial card fraud on Hudlow Road in Union Mills. Appears to have been out-of-state and out-of-county charges done without authorization. We had a misdemeanor larceny on Main Street in Chimney Rock. A black toter garbage can, bear-proof, valued at $300, was taken from the side of the road. We had a financial card fraud on 12 Oaks Drive in Forest City, where money was taken out of the victim's account and put into a separate account. I believe this to be a family member had done this without authorization. We had a larceny on Evan Edwards Road. Someone has taken a Cadillac converter off of a Ford truck valued at $200. And we had a damaged property in larceny on 221 South. Someone had a flat tire, and their vehicle was on the side of the road just before the South Carolina line, and someone cut the other 3 tires and stole the jack. Very, very disturbing that they did that. Jim, that's what we had to report in the last 24 hours.
All right. Always busy. Busy.
Yes, sir.
Sheriff, I appreciate you being with us and talking to us about what's been happening over there and keeping us informed. And you be safe today and have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. Sheriff Chris Francis in this morning with that report. 19 now past 7.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300. And we're checking in now over 911 with a report
and find out what's been going on and the calls they've made. Jesse, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on your report today?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 communications has processed 458 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 42 for EMS, 16 for rescue, 123 for the Sheriff's Office, 81 for Forest City, 11 for Lake Lure, 29 for Rutherford, and 62 for Spindale. But the fire department's Ballstick had a motor vehicle accident. Forest City had 2 motor vehicle accidents. Rutherford had an industrial fire alarm, and Sunny Mush had a vehicle fire, and that's all.
Thanks, Jesse.
Thank you.
20 minutes after 7 now. We're going over to SDO Fire District next. Anyone who is looking for a secure entry-level job in manufacturing in and around Rutherford County, here is great news. AZP is holding a job fair and would love to hire entry-level production operators. This job fair for AZP is May 13th from 3 until 7 at the NC Works Rutherfordton office at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. AZP, a reputable company, is offering competitive pay and benefits. Starting wages, $16.25 an hour with available overtime. The ability for internal promotions, health, dental, vision, life insurance, retirement plans, and paid time off. It's an excellent benefit package, and top pay scale could be yours. Find out more when you attend the AZP Job Fair, May 13th from 3 until 7. It will be held at the NC Works office in Rutherfordton at 223 Charlotte Road, Rutherfordton. Ruby Taylor is on the phone now from the Shiloh, Danieltown, Oakland community to give us the news from that district. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's on that report today, Ruby?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls. And on my birthday calendar, I got Meredith Glover having birthday today and hope she has a nice day. And the signs are in the neck today and going to the arms tomorrow. And Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks very much, Ruby. Have a good day.
You too, and bye-bye.
What do the days of the week, the seas, and the colors in a rainbow have in common? Did you guess the number 7? There's no denying 7's power. It's elemental. Unlock that power with new 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery with over $160 million in total prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.12 to 4.88. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
I'm happy to share good news with you. If you have a septic tank on your property, you'll be glad to know there is a new professional pumper in town, Mid-South Pumping, owned and operated by one of our own, John Torvinen. Mid-South Pumping serves local communities such as Rutherford, Polk, Cleveland, McDowell, and Lake Lure, offering a wide variety of services at affordable prices. Get it done before summer gets here and really gets bad, if you know what I mean. Mid-South Pumping offers around-the-clock services to ensure your business doesn't become everyone else's. Count on Mid-South Pumping for pumping septic tanks, locating services, uncovering septic tank lids, and more. Make that call to Mid-South Pumping in Rutherfordton at 828-755-6280. Oh, it's good to have that done pretty soon before everybody else knows about it, and you don't. You haven't noticed it yet, but everybody else does. So have that septic tank pumped. Call Mid-South and let them do that for you. Now we're going up to the Fairfield Mountains Fire District, Bills Creek, and talk with Gary Wilson. He's the authority on things up there. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Jim. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Got plenty of pollen up here. I'd like to send down your way if you need some.
Well, we still have plenty right now, but when we run fresh out, I'll let you know.
I tell you what, it's been a rough spring for that stuff.
Sure has.
I have problems with it every year anyway, but boy, this year's really been something else. But we'll get through it. Yesterday was a beautiful day. Got up about 84 degrees yesterday. It really got warm yesterday. Sitting on about 56 this morning. No rain the last 24 hours. And no fire calls for us or Bills Creek in the last 24. So we've had a quiet couple of days here. So hope we'll keep it that way for a little while longer. Maybe we'll get some more rain in here sometime this week and get some of this stuff out of here.
Gary, you think maybe because we've had so much wind, it's stirred that pollen up more than usual?
I think it had a lot to do with it because we've had a lot of wind this spring and not much rain either.
Yeah.
You get a rain or two here and there, but that was about it. But everything's greened out now, that's for sure. Things are looking like early summer.
Yeah. Anybody got any gas up your way?
I'm sorry?
Anybody got any gasoline up your way?
As far as I know right now, it do. I don't know how long it'll last. I hope it does.
Yeah.
get that situation straightened out.
A lot of tanks down here running out. People that lined up in every gas station in the county, I think, yesterday was lined up like they were giving away free hot dogs. Yeah. Yep.
I hate to see that start again. I remember we went through that here a few years ago.
I remember that. Yeah.
But,
well, people panic real easy.
Yeah, they do. But they need to get to the bottom of that. I think everybody knows where it comes from, but they need to put a stop to that.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely a threat to the country when something like that happens.
Absolutely. Well, Gary, listen, I hope you have a wonderful day up there, and stay in touch with us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.
All right, you take care.
Thanks, Gary.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
The Hudlow Fire District is one of our favorite places to stop, also in the county. Call Run News. Let's check in with Bob Hodge, see what's been happening over there. Good morning, Bob.
Well, good Tuesday morning.
It's indeed a beautiful morning.
Well, a little cloudy up here this morning. Looks like we might get a little rain later on, but I guess we need it there.
I think we could use some.
Yeah. But so far, things going along good up here this morning. And with the fire department, we answered a medical call, and then we checked out a smoke report. And that's about it so far with the fire department up here this morning. And I'm like you, I passed the gas station down to lower in the Hudlow Road yesterday, and I thought maybe they was giving out free hot dogs or something. They lying plumb out in the road. So
every place I went by yesterday was that way. Out in the road, in some places even blocking traffic where you couldn't get down the road because they were out.
I know it, but maybe they'll get it straightened out. They'll get better there, but
Well, I hope so soon.
And Jim, that's about it. So news is sort of short up here this morning, and so you take care, and I hope you have a good day.
Thanks, Bob. Hope you have a good day as well, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
All right, we're going over to Cherry Mountain Fire District now, and Sue Price is there to give us the news from that fire district. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning, Jim.
What's happening over in your neighborhood?
Well, it's kind of quiet over here as far as I know. I hadn't had any calls from the fire department. Like Bob said, it's a little bit cloudy, but maybe it'll clear up. Be a pretty day. We got a little bit of rain late last night, not very much, but just a little. And let's see, I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my calendar and nothing on Fairview's. First Bro's got a birthday for Holden Brackett, so I hope Holden will have a good day today, and we hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And in my announcements, the Duncan's Creek Presbyterian Church will be having a memorial on the first Sunday of June the 6th, so everyone's invited, and the special singers will be the Piney Mountain Boys. And that's the only announcement I have. It's just quiet and calm over this way, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy your day as well, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Or let's drop in over to Drop-In Family Mart this morning and see if Jessica's got any breakfast over there this morning. Jessica, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You had any breakfast?
I have plenty of breakfast. I have bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits, sausage biscuits, bologna biscuits, liver mush biscuits. We got breakfast pizza. I also even made some cinnamon rolls this morning. You can get one for 69 cents or you can get two for $1.48. They're really, really good. So come on down and see me.
They always smell good, too, when they're baking.
Yes, they do. Sorry, I'm trying to cook, too, at the same time. We are temporarily out of gas, just to let everybody know. Hopefully we do get a shipment in today. So just bear with us. This gas shortage is crazy, but we are sold out of gas right now, just to let everybody know. In the meat department, we have a few specials going on, and they are grass-fed ground beef, 80/20 for $5.99 a pound, grass-fed ribeye steak for $11.99 a pound, fresh salmon for $9.99 a pound, which is really good. I took some home last night and cooked it. It's delicious. And we also have New York strip steaks for $12.49 a pound. We will have different specials come tomorrow when truck comes in, so just keep that in mind. Also, our hours are Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 p.m., Saturday 7 to 9, Sunday the store's open from 11 to 6, and we hope to see you here.
All right, sounds like a plan. I hope you got some help over there to help you get through this maze of cooking.
A little bit.
Listen, you have a great day over there. We'll send some folks to you.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. That's Jessica over there at the Drop-In Family Mart in Bostic, where they have a lot of cooking going on, a lot of breakfast being made, and a lot of folks are enjoying it every bite. Go see them over there. If you get hungry this morning or need to take a bag of biscuits to work with you, they can pick you up. Coming up in just a few moments, we're going to take a trip up to the Shallow, no, it's not Shallow, it's Shingle Hollow community and see what's happening in that fire district. We'll do that right after we do this.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
And we're going up to Shingle Hollow and talk with Tina White this morning. Tina, how you doing this morning?
I'm doing good this morning.
Good.
It's a cloudy morning up here, and 60 degrees on the front porch. None of my churches have a birthday today at all, and the fire departments have been quiet. So we're just hanging out, waiting for the day to get started good. Maybe the sun will peek through. Maybe they'll get that gas line fixed.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, it's crazy kind of thing, but we've been there, done that. We'll get over this. If people just won't panic, that's the main thing. People start panicking and driving everywhere around the county to find a gas tank that's open and running out all that precious gas trying to find a gas tank.
Yesterday, it was a panicky day, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
That were searching for gas, because every gas station that I passed, I took Nevaeh down to gymnastics, and there was lines everywhere, and I thought,
Yep. But maybe they'll get these gas pumps filled back up for us in a little while, and it won't have that panicky problem. We can just put gas in the cars, just run everywhere then.
That'd be good, I guess.
Well, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Everybody have a great, safe day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
See you, Tina. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Tina White reporting out of the Signal Hollow Fire District this morning. Things nice and quiet around the county so far. Hey, we'll go check around Union Mills and Ellenboro coming up here in just a few moments.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Coopers Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Have a guest coming up this morning a little after 8:30. Brian Gildereath will be in to talk about the Murphy Challenge. Many of you know about that. We'll learn more about it when Brian gets here to talk about it. It's a fundraiser for a very special cause, and we'll tell you more about it later on this morning during the 8 o'clock hour. Right now, we're going to talk with Brenda Kelly up in Union Mills to see what's going on up there. Good morning.
Good morning on this terrific Tuesday morning.
You feeling good today?
I'm feeling mighty fine.
Good. Better today than yesterday, right?
Do what?
Better today than yesterday.
Well, it was an okay day yesterday, but it was good to see you.
It was good to see you yesterday, too.
Yeah, that was my daughter. I'm sorry I didn't introduce her to you.
That's all right. I thought that might be your daughter, but...
Yeah, it was my daughter. That was my baby girl.
Okay, does she live close by?
She lives in Far City.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's close by, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. That's pretty close, yeah. We're all neighbors here in the county.
There you go. That's right.
Well, you're
all neighbors out looking for gas.
That's right. You're eating at a good place. That Pat Tracy's got good food.
Oh, yeah, they are. Yeah, I love to go in there and eat. I'm not looking for gas. I'm going to save what little bit I've got. But I have to look for gas all the time because if you're coming up 221, when there's a place I call Bon Bon that sells gas, and after that, there ain't no more gas up 221 till you get to Glenwood.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Yeah, they ain't, no. And if you're going out of Ruffton up Highway 64, once you leave Ruth, well, let's see, we've not got the little cupboard, so we've not got gas there. Okay, DK up there in Ruth. Once you leave there and go up 64 towards Morganton, they ain't no gas till you get up there in front of where it's Brackett Brothers. I forget what it's called, Brackett Brothers. Something has a little station there that sells gas.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then if you're going down to Union Mills, down Hudlow, you ain't got no gas till you get down there to drop in.
Well, you'd think somebody
So
put
I'm
up a
all
gas.
time searching for gas.
Yeah, you'd think somebody put up a gas station up that way.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
A lot of traffic up through there.
They sure are up. They traffic up 221, Hudlow, and 64 all the time, but there ain't no gas.
There used to be some places up through there that had gas pumps, didn't they?
Yeah, the Gilkey Service Center had it, and Union Mills used to have it, and but they ain't none now. And of course they the little cupboard used to have it out there at Mount Vernon, but they don't have it now. So we all the time searching for gas up here. So it ain't nothing new to us. But anyway, I've got 52 degrees on the front porch. I've got one birthday today, and that's James Watkins. So we hope he has a great old big day. And in ways of announcements, we got a community yard sale Saturday, May the 15th, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is at 130 Pleasant Grove Road, Rollerton, corner of Cove Road and Pleasant Grove Road. They're going to have biscuits available for breakfast, hot dogs available for lunch, and proceeds go to kids for summer camp. Then we got a yard sale Saturday the 15th at Desertsville Clubhouse in McDowell County from 8 a.m. until 1 o'clock, and proceeds go for Relay for Life. And other than that, I don't have nothing. It's short, sweet, and quiet this morning.
All right. A lot of yard sales this weekend.
Yeah, I'm just glad we can get back in the swing of things and have stuff like that.
So am I.
Yeah, and I believe you announced a car wash for, I believe it was East Cheerleaders, but I'm not sure.
The wrestling team and the cheerleaders. And this is for the, what did I do with that? Chase High School wrestling team and cheerleaders.
Oh, okay.
Having a car wash Saturday from 9 to 11 at Rose's parking lot. Pre-sale tickets are $8. Drive up and you can pay $10, or then you tip them a little bit, give them a little extra money.
There you go, and it all goes for good causes.
It does. It does.
Yeah, so that's good that we can have these things again. Last year we couldn't have them.
Didn't have much last year for sure.
That's right, but I guess you better truck on down to Ellenburg and see if Luther Sweet Thing Gilligan's all right.
I'll go down there if I don't run out of gas before I get there. I'll see you.
Okay.
Bye-bye. 7:42 right now as we do take our trip over to Ellenboro and talk with Luther Gilligan right after this.
Good morning. The impact COVID-19 has had on our community has caused many changes. And some of these changes is our jobs. If your job situation is changing because of a layoff or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One of these decisions is what to do with your retirement plan. Let's make sure that your investment plan stays on track and doesn't derail your retirement ideas. Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale from Rutherford, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I would love to help you. Please give us a call at 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and member of the SIPC. Bye.
And Andrew Tisdale will be in the Blue Room here in just a little while to talk more about making sense of your money, and he'll be with us live here in the Blue Room. Now let's head over toward Ellenboro to get a report from Luther Gilligan and covering the town of Ellenboro, where you can live and do without the things you have to have. Good morning, Luther.
Yeah. Good morning, but gas is not one of them.
You all completely out of gas over there, too?
Not yet, but they're running real low.
Yeah.
It should be out another hour.
Are they lined up over there getting gas?
Yeah. They lined up down Barrett Road last night till closing time. They back this morning at opening time.
Well, it's a strange thing.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll get another load in here directly. But other than that, not a whole lot going on there. The fire department been pretty quiet. They had 2 medical calls, 1 fire investigation yesterday. Well, they had fire investigation about 3:30 this morning. Turned out to be nothing to it. But other than that, things are quiet. There's just nothing going on. So you have a great day up there, and we'll see what happens. Tell you about it in the morning.
All right, Luther, thanks. I'll see you.
All right, take care now.
Bye. That's the Luther Gilligan report from Ellenboro this morning. It's time now for birthdays for this 11th day of the month. This will be May the 11th. Birthdays and anniversaries can be called in to us now at 287-3356. We'll give you a big shout out on this birthday or anniversary of yours coming up next.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net. That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about.
Happy
birthday. Well, happy birthday wishes going out this morning to Brenda Pearson down in Cliffside. Brenda turned 74 today. Kim Connor over at Rutherfordton also having a birthday. So happy birthday to Brenda and Kim this morning. Many more happy returns on this, your birthday. Coming up after the break this morning, we'll have Andrew Tisdale in the Blue Room. Then at 8:30 this morning, Brian Gilreath, former highway patrolman, will be here to talk about the Murphy Challenge, and you'll learn more about what that's all about, too. An interesting concept of raising money, and we'll learn about it this morning right here exclusively on this radio program. Isn't that exciting? Coming up next, though, is the Keys to Confident Living. And then we'll take it down memory lane with some classic oldies.
Many years ago, it was common for rich people to wear money belts when traveling. Gold and silver coins were placed in the pockets within the belt, which was then worn under a person's coat for safekeeping. In 1890, the passenger liner Aguna was crossing the Atlantic with 206 people on board. Many of the travelers were wealthy and were carrying money to Boston and New York. Late at night, the Aguna entered a thick fog bank. Not able to see, the liner collided with a steamship, which hit the passenger ship broadside. The Aguna began sinking rapidly, and many passengers were forced to leap into the water. The crew of the other ship put out their lifeboats and saved 172 people in the water, but 34 people were lost. The crew of the lifeboats later explained that those who drowned were wearing money belts. The heavy gold and silver dragged them under before they could be saved. The parable that Jesus told of the Word of God that was sown on soil full of thorns and thistles represents those whose lives are too wrapped up in material things. Jesus says, they hear God's word, but as they go about their work, they are too concerned about life's worries, riches, and pleasures, and thus they never develop spiritually. Their desire for wealth literally chokes off the godly influence. How tragic to be successful in man's eyes, as was the rich businessman in the Bible, only to be called a fool by God. Make sure that which you accumulate outlives you. This is Bill Hostler with today's key to confident living.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and grandpa and grandma need them.
Thank you, first responders.
from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Game changer. The Pfizer vaccine now approved for adolescents. ABC's Aaron Katursky has reaction.
The number of hospitalizations and deaths among middle school kids may be less than among adults, but Dr. Richard Besser at the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation said vaccinating them is about more than preventing serious illness.
Now with the vaccine, there are high school kids who could start the fall and have a normal high school experience, take off their masks, do sports, engage with their friends, and not have to worry. I think that's absolutely huge.
The new authorization covers some 17 million adolescents. The shots could be available as soon as Thursday. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
The pipeline company that was hit by a ransomware attack this week is hoping to have operations up and running again by the end of the week. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas with more on what we've learned about those behind it.
The FBI is now officially identifying the hackers based in Russia known as DarkSide as a gang who developed a so-called ransomware using the attack on the pipeline in a scheme to extort money. While U.S. intelligence is yet to develop evidence to tie the Kremlin to the attack, some security experts emphasize the Russian government has a pattern of allowing and sometimes helping such groups when they try to hurt Western companies and nations.
A gunman opened fire at a grade school in Russia today. At least 7 students were killed, along with a teacher. President Vladimir Putin ordering Russia's government to immediately begin working on tightening gun regulations. There is a vote set for tomorrow on removing Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney from her leadership position in the House. ABC's Rachel Scott with Congress and more on the progress.
It's a secret ballot. Republicans will not have to take a stand in public. And Cheney faced the same vote back in February. She survived it, then with the support of Republican leader Kevin McCarthy. But this time he has made it clear he wants her out too.
Cheney is refusing to go along with the false claim the election of 2020 was rigged. This is ABC News.
I'm former U.S. counterterrorism officer Drew Berquist. In a one-party controlled country whose policies continue to move further to the left, it's hard to find a group willing to stand up for the right. That's why we created Mammoth Nation. We're standing strong for all Americans. Mammoth Nation is America's conservative discount club. As a member, you get great discounts, massive savings on travel, shopping, wireless, sporting goods, even prescriptions. Membership supports conservative businesses and the causes that you care about, like the Wounded Blue. For every total wellness plan purchased, Mammoth Nation will donate a plan to a police officer in need. This provides critical support to our law enforcement community. It's just one of the things that makes Mammoth Nation so great. And it's so affordable. If you join now, you get a 30% discount on a lifetime membership. Normally $299. This month, just $199, which pays for itself in just a few purchases. Maybe just one. So go to MammothNation.com and become a lifetime member today.
The family of a black man shot and killed by sheriff's deputies in North Carolina expected today to view nearly 20 minutes of police body cam video. Andrew Brown Jr. was shot while in his car near his home last month. Prosecutors say his car hit police officers. Brown's family say he was driving away when he was shot. Prosecutors in Missouri now asking the courts to undo a 40-year-old wrong. ABC's Megan Tervizian with the story.
The Missouri prosecutor's office that convicted Kevin Strickland, who's now 61 years old, is asking for his immediate release. The Jackson County prosecutor says Strickland spent the last 43 years in prison for a crime he did not commit. The 1978 murder case in Kansas City hinged heavily on testimony from one witness who initially named Strickland, then 18, as a suspect. But she later changed her story, denying Strickland's involvement right up until her death in 2015.
The decision on Strickland's future now rests with Missouri's Supreme Court. Facebook is being urged to rethink its plans to roll out a version of Instagram aimed at kids. 44 attorneys general from across the country, Democrats and Republicans, have all signed off on a letter to Facebook head Mark Zuckerberg. They say they are concerned about an Instagram for kids, giving predators a new way to find children. They also point out what they call Facebook's, quote, checkered record in protecting kids. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly. Don't miss out on Clean Car Month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. If your car could use a spring cleaning, stop by for great deals on everything you need to keep your car looking new. Like Mother's California Gold Wash and Wax, just $4.99 for a 64-ounce bottle. That's a $6 savings. Visit the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts today or O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Jesse James Railroad Express is becoming the Rutherford County hotspot with new lunch menu, quarter pounder Angus beef burger topped with bacon, cheddar cheese, bang bang sauce, and onion rings, or the new 5-3-1 burger, half-pound charbroiled Angus burger with special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a toasted bun. It's everything that Big Mac wishes it could be. On top of that, milkshakes, hand-dipped ice cream also available. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 until 4. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Call them at 828-447-4644. 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions, Mondays only. That's 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton. All aboard.
Our temperatures are going to struggle over the next several days. Today, we'll only make it into the upper 60s and lower 70s with a lot of cloud cover around. A few passing showers possible early, but we'll be dry by this afternoon. Overnight, we'll fall into the upper 40s and lower 50s with highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s tomorrow. Early showers are going to move through and on and off periods of rain will be possible into the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
Currently, we have 58 degrees and still cloudy out there, but we should be getting some sun here before you know it. It says mostly cloudy, but we may have some sun with highs getting around 71. Now, the rain's coming tonight, tomorrow, but the weekend, another gorgeous Chamber of Commerce kind of weekend starting on Thursday, perhaps on Friday maybe. 69 Friday, 74 Saturday, 76 on Sunday. Andrew Tisdale's in the Blue Room. We'll get to him here in just a few moments. A note from the police department over in Shelby. Officials found 2 bodies inside a car in the parking lot of a hospital facility in Shelby Monday afternoon. The incident happened in the parking lot of Atrium Health Facility off of Washington Street in Shelby. Shelby police say the 2 bodies were found inside a parked vehicle. The police department is working with Atrium Health in investigating that. Atrium Health provided the following statement: "We're cooperating with law enforcement on this situation. Any comment would be best served coming from them," a spokesman for the hospital system said. Police say the incident is not considered suspicious at this time and does not appear to be related to violence, but officers will be following up on it. This is a developing story, and officials have not yet provided any detail. That story from WBTV News. We'll have more on that as it becomes available to us, but that happened over in Shelby in the parking lot at Atrium. Andrew Tisdale is right here with me now in the Blue Room. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Glad to see you here today.
Yep. Had enough gas in the tank.
Is that something?
It's amazing how one thing like that can just
spur panic.
It is. Spur panic, yes. I don't know. I was just kind of looking around as I was coming. I'm not seeing any gas stations that actually have any.
I don't know. There are not many. I noticed the gas houses had a little bit of regular, but they didn't have
the premium.
The premium and the higher level. So
yeah.
I don't know if they may have that now.
They may be. They may be.
Anyway, this too will pass.
As it always has.
I guess if we run out of gas, we'll just park the car and stay home.
Or walk or ride a bicycle.
Yeah, got a horse somewhere?
I don't. I actually did think about that. Now, how could horses come back? But then we're going to be, is that a climate change issue? Because, they're going to make a mess.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I wonder if the Amish friends would let us borrow some of their horse and wagons.
That would be awful nice of them, and they're good people. So,
they are. I don't know any personally, but we could get acquainted with them.
I have met 2 of them. They were very, very nice people.
I know they're good cooks.
Yes, they are, especially with pies and cakes.
Yes. What's you got on your mind today?
Well, let's think about, even though we just talked about the gas, I was actually prepared to talk more about home ownership. We are looking at prices in our houses that are continually rising. There is a lot of movement within the real estate market. So what if you're out there thinking about buying your first time house? How can I stick to a plan that's actually going to work for me and my future? Well, here's a couple of steps to follow. 1, add up your total monthly income. Let's say that you bring home $2,500 a month and your spouse brings home $2,500 a month. That's $5,000 a month. How much should my house payment be? A good, solid rule of thumb to give you a little cushion is stay between 25% and 30% of your bring home pay. So if you are bringing home $5,000 a month, then you should stay within a $1,250 to maybe possibly $1,500 mortgage payment. What about maintenance, things like that? Remember, if you save up an emergency fund, that is for emergencies, for big catastrophes that may happen to your house. But what about your appliances, your things like that, that's going to help you maintain that new investment for you? One thing to kind of keep in mind is always use a sinking fund, that Dave Ramsey calls it. What that means is you put a little bit aside every month, and when you have that prepared, ready to buy that new refrigerator, to buy that new stove, to buy new furniture as it comes along. And think about also your down payment. What if you say, well, Andrew, I can't afford then what you're telling me to buy a home? Well, then take the time. Don't rush. The more down payment you give, the less that your monthly payment is going to be. But I can't do that right now. That's right. Think about that. Patience is always a big virtue. And it's always better to have patience than to rush and do things in panic. I think we kind of noticed that here this weekend. So if you're thinking about buying a home, use these tips, and you're not going to go wrong, because it's not going to put you in a situation where, when we have situations like the pandemic or the gas crisis, it's not going to say, am I going to keep my house? You're going to be able to keep your house.
Making sense of investing, that's what you're all about.
That's right. And it may be stocks, bonds, real estate.
Yep, all those things.
It's all about helping you take what you have and build it.
Well, I'm glad you have that kind of attitude about helping folks and not just running a business.
Well, thank you.
A lot of folks just want to run a business and don't care about people. But I've noticed you over the years, you feel like you need to help people, and I think that's great.
That is my business, to help people.
There you go.
That's right.
Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones, 173 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton, or we can call it Ruffton. And that phone number is 828-287-9197.
Y'all have a wonderful day.
Hope you have a great day as well.
See you.
See ya. Go to work now. And I'll be back with some news from here and there in just a moment.
What do the days of the week, the seas, and the colors in a rainbow have in common? Did you guess the number 7? There's no denying 7's power. It's elemental. Unlock that power with new 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery, with over $160 million in total prizes. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.12 to 4.88. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
Again, news from here and there. Let me again give you the story I just gave a moment ago from WBTV. Officials found 2 bodies inside a car in the parking lot of a hospital facility in Shelby Monday afternoon. The incident happened in the parking lot of Atrium Health Facility off of Washington Street in Shelby. Shelby police say the 2 bodies were found inside a parked vehicle. The police department is working with Atrium Health on the investigation. Atrium Health provided this statement: "We are cooperating with law enforcement on the situation. Any comment would be best served coming from them," a spokesman for the hospital system said. Police say the incident is not considered suspicious at this time and does not appear to be related to violence, but they are following up on everything. This is a developing story, and officials have not yet been provided any other details, and we'll pass those details on to you whenever they become available. Former Trooper Gilreath is going to be my guest this morning at 8:30 to talk about the Murphy Challenge. Stand by for that coming up. Well, Saturday marked the launch of Bringing Summer Back campaign, with more than 140 partner organizations across the state registered to rally together to promote COVID-19 vaccinations in their communities. More than 50% of adults 18 and older in the state have now received at least 1 dose of COVID-19 vaccine. More than 43% of the adult population is fully vaccinated against the virus. The Bringing Summer Back campaign is a fun, flexible, and community-centered approach that creates a space for every organization and individual to roll up their sleeves and do their part to stop the spread of COVID-19 and get everyone back to the people and places they love. The campaign will run during 2 months in May and 2 weeks in June, and it may be left up to us to get back to the basics. Our senior center in Rutherford County has received recertification as a senior center of excellence. The certification by the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is valid for 5 years. The Senior Center, a service of the Rutherford County government, has an annual budget of just over $932,000 and is comprised of federal, state, and local funds. Having this certification, the highest level awarded by DHHS, means the center receives more funds from the state. But according to Tammy Aldridge, Senior Center Director, it means more than that. Being a center of excellence really says that we are a center of distinction. We do everything we can to provide an atmosphere of excellence, she said, and we couldn't do all of that we do without an awesome staff. The center's effort for transportation services, both general and medical, are praiseworthy, the report said. So congratulations to the Senior Center in Rutherford County. This is a notice given that a public hearing will be held by the Rutherford County Board of Commissioners in the Rutherford County Commissioners meeting room. That'll be June 7th at 6 p.m. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider the proposed Rutherford County budget for fiscal year 21-22. The meeting will be live streamed and may be seen by visiting Rutherford County webpage at www.rutherfordcountync.gov. The proposed budget for fiscal year 2021-2022 is available for inspection by appointment only in the office of the clerk to the board, the Rutherford County Office Buildings, North Main Street in Rutherford. But that public hearing, if you want to be a part of that, is June 7th. Our neighbor Tryon, Polk County, has made an arrest. The Columbus Police Department arrested a woman on Hampton Street this past week on multiple drug charges, including for methamphetamine, heroin, ecstasy, LSD, and marijuana. Natalie Elizabeth Connor of Hampton Street, Columbus, was arrested and charged with felony possession with intent to sell and deliver methamphetamine, felony maintaining a dwelling for a controlled substance, felony possession of methamphetamine, felony possession of heroin, 2 counts of felony possession of a Schedule I controlled substance, possession of marijuana paraphernalia, and possession of drug paraphernalia, according to the Columbus Police Report. The Columbus Police Department conducted a search warrant of the residence on Wednesday, May 5th, and made the arrest. Connor was taken to the Polk County Slammer and was being held under a $38,000 secured bond. I wonder if part of the punishment for folks that are arrested for selling drugs, if they could put them in a locked-up facility and show them film of people who are dying from the use of meth, show their lives deteriorating and what they are doing to cause that to happen. And what if that would soak in the minds of these people who continue to sell that stuff on the street? Just make them watch that over and over and over again. People's lives being transformed from a livelihood to almost death in existence, where the eyes sink back in their heads, weight loss, sores developing on their skin. If they could watch all that happen, reckon that would change their minds? Instead of just slapping them on the wrist and putting them in jail for 30 days and putting them back out on the street, I don't know. It seemed not be getting the job done. Well, we talked already this morning, and it's going to be talked about all day today, and as long as it lasts, about the gasoline. It's all because gas prices in the state have gone up, and the spokesperson for AAA Carolina told 7 News they could climb higher than they are right now. Some of them are going up. The lowest I've seen in the county is $2.55, when they had others up in the $2.79 area. Ernie King with the AAA Carolina wants to remind drivers and consumers that this is a temporary thing, and we will get over it. Just don't panic and don't get angry and hateful with people because they're in front of you trying to get gas. Just be patient. Kind of like running out of bread and milk when snowstorms come. People get anxious and get over there and buy all the bread they can and stock up on bread, and people taking every container they got to the gas station, filling those up. Talked with a fellow yesterday who said, I fill up everything I've got. I have 2 or 3 gas cans. I filled that up. And I thought, come on, man. but I didn't. There's a list of tips that AAA told 7 News that can help conserve fuel. Here are some of them. Plan ahead to accomplish multiple errands in one trip, and whenever possible, avoid high traffic times of day. If you own more than one car, use the most fuel-efficient model that meets the needs of any given journey. Remove unnecessary and bulky items from your car. Minimize your use of roof racks and remove special carriers when not in use. It takes more fuel to accelerate a heavier car, and the reduction in fuel economy is greater for small cars than for larger models. Minimize your use of air conditioning. Even at highway speeds, open windows have less effective fuel economy than the engine power required to operate the air conditioner compressor. In hot weather, park in the shade or use a windshield sunscreen to lessen heat buildup inside the car. This reduces the need for air conditioning and thus fuel to cool down the car. So there are ways to help with this. The Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Chris Francis coming up here in just a minute.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are 2 ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com, click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
Well, if you're getting ready for a big wedding or a special social event or graduation parties or different things like that where you feel like you need to dress up, need a special formal attire, go by the mall over there and see the good folks that got all the things that you need. Joy's Bridal. She's got beautiful outfits for ladies, special for ladies, for brides, for grooms, and for bridesmaids, and social events, social coming up. I saw a young fella coming out the other day with some fancy clothes that he'd like to get, so you can do the same thing. If you haven't been by Joyce Bridal in a while, we should walk through there and see what a display she has. Plus, they have a seamstress over there to do any sewing and tucking up that you might need. Plenty of jewelry for any occasion. It's a great place. You can pay your bills over there, too. A lot of bill paying going on. Go see Joyce Bridal in the Tri-City Mall. You'll be glad that you visited there and shopped at home. Sheriff Chris Francis gave us news from the Sheriff's Department this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Sheriff?
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 123 calls for service. There have been 21 arrests processed to county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 170. Among those arrested, Devontae Marquare Hill, 28-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear, received a $2,000 secured bond. Later in the night was served with a child support warrant and received an additional $500 cash bond. Elena Marie Bailey, 20-year-old female of Hendersonville, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 unsecured bond. Wesley Jonathan White, a 33-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with assaulting a female and trespassing, had to see a district court judge for bond. Susan Marie Palmer, 43-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with obstruction of justice, resist, obstruct, delay, and driving while license revoked, received a $10,000 unsecured bond. Samantha Elaine Tyner, 31-year-old female of Morrisboro, was charged with a probation violation, received a $10,500 secure bond. Carrie Montana Hobson, 25-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with resist, obstruct, delay, and received a $500 unsecured bond. Chelsea Renee Loveday, 30-year-old female of Ellenboro, was charged with misuse of 911, larceny, 2 counts of failure to appear, received a $2,500 secured bond. Among our incidents, we had a financial card fraud on Hudlow Road in Union Mills. Appears to have been out-of-state and out-of-county charges done without authorization. We had a misdemeanor larceny on Main Street in Chimney Rock. A black toter garbage can, bear-proof, valued at $300, was taken from the side of the road. We had a financial card fraud on 12 Oaks Drive in Far City, where money was taken out of the victim's account and put into a separate account. I believe this to be a family member had done this without authorization. We had a larceny on Evan Edwards Road. Someone has taken a Cadillac converter off of a Ford truck valued at $200. And we had a damaged property in larceny on 221 South. Someone had a flat tire, and their vehicle was on the side of the road just before the South Carolina line, and someone cut the other 3 tires and stole the jack. Very, very disturbing that they did that. Jim, that's what we had to report in the last 24 hours.
Hockey's physical and tough, and there's no doubt about it, it ramps up.
Carolina chapter of the Professional Hockey Writers Association, meanwhile, has selected Canes captain Jordan Stahl as the team's nominee for this year's Bill Masterson Memorial Trophy. It goes to the player who best exemplifies the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to the sport. The Colorado Avalanche preserved their chances to finish first in the West. With a 2-1 win over the division-leading Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Avs trail the Golden Knights by 2 points atop the division. Vegas has 1 game left on their schedule, while Colorado has 2. Russell Westbrook recorded his 182nd triple-double, breaking Oscar Robertson's 47-year-old NBA record for triple-doubles, but he missed a potential game-winning 3, and the Wizards fell to Atlanta 125-124. The Spurs set a franchise record for points in the first half by rolling to a 146-125 win over Milwaukee. Steph Curry made the go-ahead 3 and finished with 36, and the Warriors win over Utah to keep hold of their 8th seed in the West playoff race.
We're playing our best basketball in the sense of just understanding how we're supposed to win.
The Grizzlies secured a spot in the East play-in tournament by beating the Pelicans, who were without Zion Williamson and a handful of other players. Domantas Sabonis amassed 21 points, 20 rebounds, and 9 helpers as the Pacers strengthened their hold on a play-in tournament spot with a win over the Cavs. This is NCN Sports.
Help us serve you. North Carolina retailers aren't just the backbone of the local economy. They are the first ones to step up to support your Little League teams, your booster clubs, and to step in with product donations in times of need. So please shop NC. You hold the power to help North Carolina's retailers rebound faster by choosing to spend your dollars in North Carolina. The NC Retail Merchants Association proudly represents these dedicated retailers and encourages you to shop NC. Learn more at ncrma.org.
For more than 30 years, the NC Rural Center has been working to secure a more vibrant future for our state's rural people and places. We operate in North Carolina's 80 rural counties with a special focus on individuals with low to moderate incomes and communities with limited resources. Whether it's through advocacy, small business lending, leadership training, or community development initiatives, the NC Rural Center works to build a brighter future for all. To learn more about our programs, visit ncruralcenter.org. NC Rural Center, building vibrant rural communities.
Trey Mancini hit a go-ahead solo homer and later knocked in an insurance run, while Jorge Lopez and 4 relievers combined on a 4-hitter, and the Baltimore Orioles beat the Boston Red Sox 4-1. In other action, Mauricio Dubon broke a 7th-inning tie with a 2-out pitch hit single. Alex Wood won for the 4th game in 5 starts, and the Giants beat the Rangers 3-1. Luke Weaver pitched scoreless ball into the 7th inning for his best outing in nearly a month. He helped the Diamondbacks snap a 6-game losing streak with a 5-2 win over the Marlins. Elsewhere, the Angels rallied in the 6th to beat the Houston Astros 5-4. Cincinnati Reds rolled to a 14-1 win over the skidding Pirates, and the game between the Padres and Rockies was postponed due to a forecast that called for inclement weather. And the forecast for today is calling for more cold and rainy chances, including snow. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Our temperatures are going to struggle over the next several days. Today, we'll only make it into the upper 60s and lower 70s with a lot of cloud cover around. A few passing showers possible early, but we'll be dry by this afternoon. Overnight, we'll fall into the upper 40s and lower 50s with highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s tomorrow. Early showers are going to move through, and on and off periods of rain will be possible into the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
We're still 58 degrees, cloudy skies, but we should be getting some sun peeking out here before you know it. And then rain comes sometime this evening through tomorrow. Then for the weekend, look out for a good one. Beautiful weekend here in the foothills. We like to call it the Chamber of Commerce kind of weekend. That's why folks love to spend their time here in Rutherford County. We see a beautiful Rells to Trails and a beautiful Lake Lure and Chimney Rock area and all the other elements of Rutherford County. Our Kiwanis Park here in Rutherfordton, Pop's place there in Forest City. It's just a great place to be and visit. So tell your friends to come by. And, of course, we always want to invite them to go to Washburn General Store out of the Washburn community, where that is a tourist attraction within itself, plus home folks love it as well. Well, I'm going to divert just a moment from news from here and there and talk about something that I think is important for those of you who are, particularly those of you who are in business. It's from Radio Inc. Pierre Bouvard, he's a Westwood One guy. In his latest column, Bouvard put together a list of bullet points easily explainable to advertisers why they need to advertise on radio. A big reason, according to Westwood One's Pierre, is the fragmentation and the decline in television viewership. According to Bouvard, the TV landscape is undergoing massive change, and that all works to the advantage of radio. That 1 out of 4 people in the 25 to 54 demo can no longer be reached by linear TV. That pay TV lost 5.5 million subscribers in 2020. Can you believe that? 5.5 million TV subscribers dropped it off. That broadcast TV's reach is down about 22%. Bouvard says if advertisers put radio in their advertising plan, it generates triple the reach of connected TV. Adding 50 points of AM/FM radio to 250 points of TV, 225 linear TV GRPs, and 50 connected TV GRPs generates a plus 24% increase in reach, triple the incremental reach lift that connected TV can add alone. The average P&G brand experiences a 30-point plus 38% increase in reach due to AM/FM radio campaigns. So what he's saying is that radio is still a strong element because one of the things, it is a constant companion. It is always there. It's on the dash of your car. It's in your workshop. It's in your kitchen. It's in your bedroom. It's out on the patio. It's in your phones. It's everywhere. As radio continues to use P&G as a great example of what adding radio to an ad campaign can do for an advertiser, Procter & Gamble is one of the big proponents of radio. Bouvard pointed out that at a radio conference a few years ago, P&G executive John Fick said P&G wants to reach as much of America as it can once a week. While TV has been its median cornerstone, it's costly investment to use television to reach 72% of the U.S. He continued, the brands are looking to get the reach they want, and they can't get it with TV anymore, knowing that radio seems to be the best option. And Bouvard followed up with P&G's December 2020 radio campaign lifted TV reach by plus 34% among persons 45 to 54, plus 57% among persons 35 to 44. And he goes on to say that AM/FM radio can supplement the older skewer of linear TV with significant reach lift under the age of 60. Television has gotten so raw anymore, it seems. There's a lot of folks just dropping off TV. And radio seems to be radio gets results kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I won't sing it, but I was scheduled, I thought, to have former trooper Brian Gildereath in the studio to talk about the Murphy Challenge, but he is not here this morning, so perhaps there was a miscommunication of time frames, but we'll try to get more information on that as we can. Don't want to be the negative bad news or conspiracy theorist, but here's a story from the WorldNet Daily staff. Pretty awful. Healthy 17-year-old boy gets blood clot in the brain after COVID vaccine. A mother in Utah is warning parents about the possible dangers of COVID-19 vaccine after her 17-year-old basketball-playing son got a shot and developed 3 blood clots in and near his brain. The report comes from the ABC News affiliate in Salt Lake City. The mother is Cherie Romney of Draper, Utah. She told the station the hardest thing was I let him get that shot. He was healthy and well before, but you question it. You can't help but question it when it all goes wrong. The report said that playing basketball could have aggravated the swelling caused by the vaccine. Everett Romney, 17, felt his neck swell the day after his COVID-19 Pfizer vaccine shot, and he then experienced severe headaches. A doctor dismissed the symptoms as a pulled muscle, but Cherie Romney was convinced there was something more there. He could not move his neck without the assistance of his hands. She eventually took her son, a Corner Canyon High School basketball player, for tests. Doctors discovered 2 blood clots inside his brain and 1 on the outside. He was treated for a time in the intensive care unit and remains hospitalized. Cherie Romney said she wants parents to make the best decisions for their children and doctors to understand the new vaccines might bring challenges to the conventional wisdom. She said that when what she now knows, she would have made a different decision. It was pretty awful. Just passing that word on. I'm not making any comment based on that, but that's what happened in that case. Well, a teacher has introduced transgenderism to first graders. You imagine that? But that's not the most disturbing detail. Outraged parents in Bellingham, Washington, are standing up to the school district president. That details a 2-year-old biological male beginning his transition to a female. It shows a book they're letting them read. That shows that. It shows a 2-year-old biological male beginning his transition to a female with support of his parents. One outraged parent asked in an email to the teacher showing a screenshot of I Am Jazz, "Did you read this book to first graders today?" "Yes, I did read this book," she explained. "As a district, we're working hard to support all members of our school community and promote inclusion through understanding and compassion." Well, the story has gone viral and new facts have emerged. It turns out Bellingham School Board President Jennifer Mason owns a sex toy business in town. Her store has sex toys that, according to Jennifer Mason, are for all ages, even as young as toddler age. Ms. Mason has no plans to take any disciplinary actions against Jennifer Miller at this time. The first grade teacher said she had previously read the book and was aware of its contents. The parents have further learned that this and other books for children are in the school's library. The parents do not want transgender education in the classroom. As the facts continue to unfold, this story has sparked even more criticism and controversy in this Washington school district and many others across the country. This just proves once again that our children, especially if they are Christian children, do not belong in situations where they are force-fed those kinds of news, those kinds of stories. But some parents are standing up and speaking out and pulling their children out of schools such as that. Other grandparents and parents just say, oh, well, I don't want to make any waves. I'll just let it go. Maybe it won't affect them. Well, that's what they're hoping you'll say. Well, sad news from the Obama family. Their dog Boo has passed on, died with cancer, I believe. Bo, a Portuguese water dog, was a gift to the Obamas from the late Senator Edward Kennedy, a key supporter of Obama's 2008 presidential campaign, who became close to the family. Well, Bo helped Obama keep a promise to his daughters, Malia and Sasha, that they could get a dog after the election. Both were constant presences around the White House and popular among visitors while people were visiting the White House. The dog entertained crowds at the annual Easter egg roll, and Bo occasionally joined Mrs. Obama to welcome tourists. Well, it was sad news that Bo has died with cancer. Not good news for anybody who loves pets. 21 minutes now before 9:05 this morning. My Great America with Jim and Butch will be live from the Blue Room. Butch is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know how many of you attended the National Day of Prayer this year here at the courthouse. There were not very many there as compared to years in the past. Years in the past, they've been a yard full of people. This time, not many at all, unfortunately. Don't know why. I do know there was very little publicity on it. Don't know how the word got out, but even a lot of ministers that are usually there were not there this time. But they did have a few ministers to conduct it, but I don't know why that happened, but hope it's not diminishing into nothing. But the permit in Washington was denied for National Day of Prayer at the U.S. Capitol for the first time in 70 years. After almost 70 years, the National Day of Prayer looked very different in Washington, D.C. That is because the permit to hold the annual event at the Capitol was denied for the first time since 1952. Since the U.S. Capitol building's breach on January 6th, the area remains closed off to the public where the event would usually take place. That's their excuse for not having it. The man who sought to obtain the permit for the event, Reverend Patrick Mahoney, who is also director of the Christian Defense Coalition, rebuked the decision to deny the prayer at the Capitol. After our permit was denied for the first time in 70 years, there will be no public witness at the U.S. Capitol building for the National Day of Prayer. Brothers and sisters, free speech is in danger today in America, he wrote on Twitter. Well, there's always something going on from both sides of the aisle, I guess you could say, both sides, the good side and the bad side. Just the news again from Washington, from the WorldNet Daily News Service. A California bar owner has been charged in connection with making and selling fake COVID-19 vaccination cards. California Department of Alcohol Beverage Control agents on Tuesday arrested Todd Anderson on charges related to identity theft, forging government documents, and carrying an unregistered firearm, according to the Washington Post. Department agents reportedly spent a month uncover buying 4 fake cards for $20 each. During Anderson's arrest, agents found 2 more completed cards, 30 blank cards, and a laminating machine. Also reported, thought he was going to get in business, helping people lie, but he got caught. You've heard about the cicadas coming, right? Trillions of cicadas are beginning to emerge throughout 15 states. Jessica Ware, who's the entomologist at the American Museum of Natural History, told CBS News it's a pretty big event. I mean, we're talking about trillions of cicadas that are going to be emerging, singing, calling, finding mates in our backyards. Every year a different group of cicadas emerges. This year it is the turn of Brood X, the largest group and one that shows up every 17 years. Now, how they know all this, I don't know, but they're scientists. I'm not. The 15 states covered by Brood X stretch from Georgia to New York, with major concentrations in Maryland, Indiana, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Washington, D.C. Well, they may not want to stay in Washington, D.C. very long, but maybe they'll make enough noise that'll drive some of those folks out of there. I don't know. Anyway, Ware said, I think it's not that the cicadas know anything per se. I think part of it is hardwired. So there's a series of biochemical cascades, hormones that rise and fall that set off a trigger. If you have a certain hormone level and the temperature of the soil is 64 degrees, it's go time. But Brood X won't be around long. In a month, their moment of glory will be history. If you spend your entire juvenile stage 17 years underground and then you've got 3 or 4 weeks to do all the jobs, how would you like to live like that, huh? University of Maryland, Michael Ropp went into great rhapsody about the harmless critters when he spoke to the Associated Press. He said, you've got a creature that spent 17 years in a COVID-like existence, isolated underground, sucking on plant sap, right? In the 17th year, these teenagers are going to come out of the earth by the billions, if not trillions. They're going to try to best everything on the planet that wants to eat them during their critical period of the nighttime when they're just trying to grow up. They're just trying to be adults, shed their skin, get their wings, go up into the treetops, escape their predators. Once in the treetops, hey, it's all going to be about romance. It's only the males that sing. It's going to be a big boy band up there as the males try to woo their females, try to convince that special someone that she should be the mother of his nymphs. He's going to perform, sing songs. If she likes it, she's going to click her wings. They're going to have some wild time in the treetops at night. Well, after mating, the songs can be as loud as 100 decibels, the same level as a jackhammer. It becomes time for the next brood to be put in place. Rob said this, then she's going to move out to the small branches, lay their eggs. Then it's all going to be over in a matter of weeks. They're going to tumble down. They're going to basically fertilize the very plants from which they were spawned. 6 weeks later, the tiny nymphs are going to tumble 80 feet from the treetops, bounce twice, bury down into the soil, go back underground for another 17 years. This is one of the craziest life cycles of any creature on planet I've ever heard of. Ware confirmed the bugs are harmless. They actually pose no harm to humans. They don't really even pose that much harm to your garden, she told CBS News. The goal really is to find each other, to mate, and then to make the next generation of cicadas. So Aren't you glad you tuned in this morning to hear that kind of news? You hear the most amazing stories right here on the Morning Wake Up Call at WCAB. And I'll be back with more in just a moment. Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117. Tri-City Tire Service is your complete and dependable tire and auto service center. But they're more than just a tire store. They carry river rock, brick chips, mulch, feed, seed, fertilizer, stones, sand, and they're a certified U-Haul dealer. Tri-City Tire has a huge selection of Spartan mowers, the top-of-the-line mower that gives a precision cut every time. And now Tri-City Tire is your Wolverine boot headquarters for men and ladies' work boots, steel-toe boots, or hiking boots. Get all this and more only at Tri-City Tire Service, 221 Daniel Road in Forest City, or call them at 828-287-8778.
You good guys over there at Tri-City Tire. Hope you're doing business with them right here at home. Well, there's been an arrest over in Mill Spring. The Polk Sheriff's Department arrested 2 Mill Springs after a disabled child investigation. Polk County Sheriff's Office arrested 2 people in Mill Spring on child abuse and drug charges following a disabled child abuse investigation. Michael Shannon Airwood of Highway 108 East, Mill Spring, was arrested and charged with assault on an individual with disabilities, 2 counts of child abuse, trafficking heroin, possession with intent to sell, deliver heroin, possession with intent to sell, deliver methamphetamine, selling meth, maintaining a dwelling for the controlled substance, and possession of drug paraphernalia, according to the Sheriff's Office in Polk County. Christine Elizabeth Braley, Highway 108 East, Mill Spring, was arrested and charged with trafficking heroin, possession with intent to sell, deliver heroin, possession with intent to sell, deliver meth, maintaining a dwelling for the controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting a public office, and child abuse. The arrest occurred Thursday, April 29th, after investigators with the county's Special Operations Division, Criminal Investigation Division, and patrol deputies executed an arrest warrant and search warrant at the residence. The Sheriff's Office already had arrest warrants on Airwood for assault on an individual with disabilities and child abuse, which stemmed from an investigation by Polk County School Resource Officers. During the search, investigators recovered trafficking amounts of heroin, fentanyl, and methamphetamine, according to the Sheriff's Office. This was a horrific situation that was uncovered and swiftly dealt with because of the teamwork between the divisions of Polk County Sheriff's Office and the school. The school resource deputies and investigators from CID and Special Operations and patrol deputies did an outstanding job coming together to take illegal drugs and suspected child abuser off the street. Ten minutes before the hour of 9 o'clock. These are the kind of stories I like. This happened in Cleveland in early April. Cleveland police picked up a large yellowish stray dog. The kennel City Dogs Cleveland took the animal in and found a microchip during an exam. Workers there called the listed number but were in for almost as much a surprise as the owner was. Michael Joe, who at one point was a recruiter for the U.S. Army, was the dog's owner. The animal's name was Sam, and he was very much loved and missed. But he'd been missing over 4 years. When Joey lived in Fort Benning, Georgia, Sam got out and disappeared sometime in 2016. He was just 4 months old at the time. I told my wife, hey, I'm going to find this dog. According to WKYC TV, I never stopped. I even still followed the shelter's pages just in case he would have shown up. Joey and his family had since moved to Tennessee and gone on with their lives, but Joey never forgot Sam. On April the 2nd, he got a call from an unrecognized number. He almost didn't answer it, but then he did. I get this phone call, and I'm like, Cleveland? I'm not going to answer this, because normally I don't answer numbers I don't remember, he told WKYC. Cool, let me answer this and see what's going on. She said, hi, is this Mr. Joy? I said, yeah. She said, we have your dog. And I'm looking at my dogs, and I'm like, no, you don't. All 4 of my dogs are here. She goes, we have Sam. In the back of my mind, I'm going, this can't be the same Sam. This is Ohio. This is like almost to Michigan. So I'm like, can you describe him for me? And she said, he's a lighter-haired dog. And I'm like, where are you and when can I pick him up? He told his wife, who immediately responded, oh, we're going to Ohio. Joey had a hard time sleeping the night before his 8-hour drive from Clarksville, Tennessee to Cleveland, but he was looking forward to a reunion with his old friend. I was like, man, this is going to be one of the best moments of my life. You know, besides my kids getting married and retiring from the Army, Joey was concerned that Sam might not recognize him because it had been years and his appearance had changed. But a video shared by the kennel shows that Sam was excited to see the couple, even if he didn't know who they were right away. They made a nice reunion. Tissues were ready. Sam was dropped off by the police, who found him. Kennel staff scanned and found a microchip, then contacted the number on the file. It turned out to be Sam was missing for 4 years from Georgia, and his owner drove those 8 miles to find Sam, and what a reunion they had. Man and his dog came back to live together again. It's 8:52 here on This Morning. And I know it's about time for me to move out of here and raise the old voice up. But one other quick thing. This is sort of a editorial like from my friend Glenn Mollett. He said, have something to look forward to every day. Work a job, work in your apartment or house, have an exercise or health outing of some kind, clean out a closet, read a book. Your goal may be to sit on the porch and watch nature on the traffic go by. We all need leisure days. If you have an idle day, then plan to enjoy your time. Work on your health, mental and physical. Occasionally do a mind check. Clean out any garbage between your ears. Your mind is where you spend your life. Do away with negativity. Get rid of any bad or resentful feelings you might have. Forgive and love yourself and forgive others. God has forgiven you, and it's time you forgave yourself. Give peace and happiness every chance possible to exist in your head. Take care of yourself physically. A good friend who will be 100 soon says vegetables and fruit are her main dishes, and every day she is physically active. Put a few dollars aside if you can. You can't take it with you when you die, but you can enjoy it while you're alive. You also might be able to help others. You can build wealth if you will work and save a little every week or month. Get rich schemes and winning the lottery are like being hit by lightning. They seldom happen. Invest in your local bank's individual retirement account, the IRA or a 401k. Buy safe stock as you can. Also, pay into Social Security. You'll need it eventually. Work on your network of relationships. If you don't have any friends, then at least try to be a friend. If you go looking for friends, you probably won't find any. If you will be a friend, then you'll build some long-lasting relationships. Don't give up on your family. Stay close to your friends, your relatives, if you possibly can. Church and civic groups are good places to build relationships. We all need personal time, but don't spend your life totally alone. Continue to work on you. You aren't finished yet. You're still a work in progress. Too often we point to an accomplishment or the past that is summation of our lives. What we did yesterday may have been wonderful or not so wonderful, but it's in the past. Who are you today? Keep becoming a better person. We're still growing and have room for growth. Make your own decisions and make good ones. You and God can figure it out. Stay independent as long as possible. A friend of mine recently gave up her home and moved to a place where others thought she should be. I don't think she is too happy with her new surroundings. Before you do what other people think you should do, make sure it's what you want to do. live your life as positively as possible. Most of those comments from Glenn Mollett with some of Jim Bishop thrown in there. But we need hope that it's going to be a good day. Well, let me see. It's about time. Let me see what I do here. I'm going to play a little bit of Everly Brothers to make room to get out of here and go get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up here real soon. Have a wonderful day, folks. I'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning here on the Morning Wake Up Call at WCAB.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call
30% of parents say they will get their children the shots, even though Robert Wood Johnson Foundation Director Dr. Richard Besser thinks that number will change.
And I expect that the same kind of thing we're seeing now, where as people have friends and family members they know who've gotten vaccinated, the interest in vaccination goes up. I think the same will happen with parents as they see other kids, the children of other parents getting vaccinated. They're going to want to do it too.
The White House says 1 million Americans signed up for Obamacare during a special enrollment period set up during the pandemic. It is not clear how much ransom the hackers who hit the Colonial Pipeline with a ransomware attack wanted, but the FBI is warning utility companies, gas suppliers, and other pipeline operators to be on the lookout for similar suspicious cyber activity.
It is very concerning that this is rising as a trend, that more and more companies and people become attacked by ransomware.
That's Gas Buddy's Patrick DeHaan. The White House says it is monitoring the situation. Colonial hopes to have the pipeline back up by this weekend. We probably won't match the record set in 2020, but 2021 still looks pretty active when it comes to hurricanes.
Never before has a big storm developed in the Pacific Ocean this early in the year. And while Tropical Storm Andres does not appear to be a threat to the U.S. mainland, it may offer a hint at what the coming 7 months will look like. Forecasters anticipate a busy hurricane season with 20 named storms, 9 hurricanes, and 4 major hurricanes, far short of last year's 30 named storms and 7 major hurricanes. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
8 people were shot and killed at a school in Russia today. It happened about 400 miles east of Moscow. 7 of those killed were 8th graders. You're listening to ABC News.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against bacteria and viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose, guess what? You get sick. That's why it's so important to keep your nose clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
A former nurse's aide facing sentencing today for killing 7 elderly veterans. ABC's Aaron Katersky's got the story.
The deaths of multiple veterans at the VA in Clarksburg, West Virginia were a mystery until last July when Rita Mays pleaded guilty to injecting them with lethal doses of insulin. Then U.S. Attorney Bill Powell said Mays never gave a reason why.
It has to be, in my view, a pretty depraved person to do these acts, so her motivations were secondary to me.
Families of the 7 veterans Mays murdered may hear about the motive at sentencing when she faces life in prison. The VA Inspector General is expected to issue a report about lapses that allowed Mays to do this. Aaron Katersky, ABC News.
Also due in court today, the 3 men accused of killing a black jogger, Ahmaud Arbery, in Georgia. The 3 suspects expected in federal court to be arraigned on hate crimes charges. Jury selection in their trial on state murder charges expected to start in October. The search continues around Houston for a wayward tiger. The man police say was keeping it illegally is under arrest now. 26-year-old Victor Cuevas is known to several exotic animals that he's the owner of. He's also out on bond on an unrelated charge of murder. And if you find a random dryer sheet in your mailbox, leave it there. Some mail carriers this time of year leave dryer sheets in mailboxes because they can help prevent wasps from nesting inside. One mailman posting on social media asking people to leave the dryer sheets there so he doesn't get stung. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly.
Ready for an oil change? Our professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts recommend all the best products to get the job done right. Like 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil on sale now just $28.95. And we'll make sure you have all the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain pan, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Sherry Preston.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Our temperatures are going to struggle over the next several days. Today, we'll only make it into the upper 60s and lower 70s with a lot of cloud cover around. A few passing showers possible early, but we'll be dry by this afternoon. Overnight, we'll fall into the upper 40s and lower 50s with highs in the upper 50s and lower 60s tomorrow. Early showers are going to move through, and on and off periods of rain will be possible into the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Peter Sherwood in the Weather Center.
And currently we're cloudy and 60 degrees, warming up nicely today. Be some sun after a while. We'll keep watching that for you. Be sure to stay tuned right here to 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, serving the foothills of the Carolinas.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Good morning, Butch.
Hello, Jim. How's my friend doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. You know what? I just noticed you've got your pens so organized right there. You know, I had a friend in college. His name was Phil Schutz. And he had one of those plastic protectors. Do you remember?
I do remember those, yeah.
Do you remember those plastic protectors?
Yeah.
He had his pens and mechanical pencils, he was a physics major, all lined up like little soldiers there. And I just remember every time I went into class, I had something inside of me that jumped up and said, he's going to get a better score on this test than I am. He just looks so official.
Some of those protectors, they came out with had advertisements on them. Some of the insurance companies would give them out to people, and they have their little ad right here. So it was.
We are really dating ourselves, aren't we?
I've heard people talk about that.
You have? Okay. Okay. So that's going to make us feel better. This is My Great America with Jim and Butch. We have the incredible opportunity every Tuesday and Thursday, unless Jim thinks I'm playing hooky and being a prodigal out of town, which I'm not. We have the opportunity to just share fellowship together, and you know, one of the things, and also just give you insights on what's happening in the marketplace. Jim does that in his own inimitable way. There's enough power here to light a small city that comes from his insights on what's happening in the news, and certainly there's a lot there to look at and be concerned about. But you know what? God has not called us to a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and a sound mind. And so we're trying to reflect sound minds and in a hope that's built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. And these are more than just songs. These are songs of the Lord if they come from him. And it's always our joy to be able to tell you that today is another day. God's mercies are new every morning. And whatever the headlines are screaming to you, or whatever the headlines of your heart are saying, that there's no hope, that you just ought to give up, or you ought to park yourself, there's no plan that God has for your life, that is simply not true. And as we often do on My Great America, we try to just orient our conversation with Scripture. And so this morning, I was in one of the minor prophets. I was in Micah. I remember this book from years ago because when we had sword drills, remember sword drills?
Yep.
Yeah, we would stand up in front of the class in my Baptist church there, and the teacher would say, go to Jonah 1:7, and we would see who could get there quickest. I'm not sure what that was putting in me, but I did have a reverence for God's word. But Micah is one of those hard ones because it's tucked away back in there, and you'd have to know how to navigate to get to it. Yeah, but this morning it wasn't hard to find because God directed me there. Let's listen to what it says here. This is so important because in the day and age that we're in, we can lose hope. And it says in Scripture, hope deferred makes the heart sick. And our hope is not in who's the president is. Our hope is in the unshakable truth that God is on the throne and he has a plan. And we need to pray for our leaders. But listen to this. It's a few verses, but important to the day that we're in. Woe is me, judgment is coming, for I am like one who gathers the summer fruits, like one who gleans the vintage grapes. There is not a cluster of grapes to eat, no first ripe fig which my appetite craves. The godly person who is faithful and loyal to God has perished from the earth. Micah was just feeling discouraged, looking around at everything in his world. And there is no upright person, not one with good character or moral integrity among men. They all lie in wait to shed blood. Each hunts the other with a net. Concerning evil, both of their hands pursue it and do it diligently and thoroughly. The prince asks, also the judge, for a bribe, and a great man speaks the evil desire of his soul. So they twist the course of justice between them. The best of them is injurious like a briar. The most upright is prickly like a thorn hedge. The day of your watchman, that is the time predicted by the prophets, and your punishment comes. Now shall be their confusion. Do not trust in a neighbor because of the moral corruption in the land. Do not have confidence in a friend. Guard the doors of your mouth from her who lies in your bosom. For the son dishonors the father and treats him contemptuously. The daughter rises up in hostility against her mother. The daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's enemies are the men and members of his own household. But, I mean, that's discouraging. So he's looking out saying, nobody's honest, everybody's on the take, people are bribing, there is no justice. But, listen what it says, verse 7, but as for me, I will look expectantly for the Lord, and with confidence in him I will keep watch. I will wait with confident expectation for the Lord of my salvation. My God will hear me. Do not rejoice over me amid my tragedies, O my enemy. Though I fall, I will rise. Though I sit in the darkness of distress, the Lord is a light for me.
Very timely.
Right. And Jim, you know what? You and I are shooting off the flare of God's truth, like a flare gun, into the darkness. And for people that are discouraged and saying, you know, Butch, the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, it's all bad, nothing's good. We need to get up every single day, suit up and show up armed with God's word. Put on the whole armor of God, the helmet of salvation, the breastplate of righteousness, the sword of the Spirit, the shield of faith, the belt of truth, and the gospel shoes of peace. We need to suit up like soldiers every day armed with God's truth and bring it to our community.
It is a battle we're in every day, and you're right, absolutely. Without that full armor, we're going to be defeated. But we've dressed ourselves up with that kind of armor, we can't be defeated.
Right, and we need to remember that the battle is the Lord's. It's not how smart you are, or any of us are. It's not how clever we are. It's not how persuasive we are. The only thing that ever matters for eternity is what we let God do through us. And the great men and women of our country understood that. And, you know, I had a conversation recently with somebody that I met offhandedly in the county, and they were aware of our little program, and they took umbrage, they took issue with the fact that we talk about the godly heritage of America. I don't know what it is, Jim. I'm like a light that the Democratic moths are attracted to. You know, because I'll get into conversations with people and try to explain my transformation from a Republican to, from a Democrat to a Republican, which paralleled God doing things in my heart. You know, I tell people it was a spiritual transformation that happened first, and then I came to the place of understanding you can't just wink or turn your head away from 60 million plus aborted children. Children, not fetuses, children.
Yeah.
The life, a whole generation snuffed out. And but anyway, in the course of the conversation, they said, you just talk about how America's a Christian nation. It's not really a Christian nation. And so we got into a little conversation. It wasn't a debate, and it was done in love. And I've learned a lot from you in this regard, Jim. You know, there are times I watch you in conversations sometimes, knowing, metaphorically speaking, you've got your 6-shooter that's got bullets in it, ready to go. Not literally, but metaphorically. But you hold back and you listen. And that's why we need to, you know, the book of James tells us that the tongue is like a rudder. We got to guard what we say, and if we don't realize it, we can throw gasoline on a conversation and just have it explode. Have you had that happen before?
And encourage, sometimes we can encourage that perpetuation of that negativity by just what we say and how we react to it. I've always learned through the years it's best sometimes just to listen to what's being said.
Right.
Be a good listener, and not a good talker, but be a good listener. Talking comes when I'm behind the microphone. When I'm face to face with somebody,
right.
That's when I listen. That's when I want to listen to what they have to say, because I can learn something from them. Learn a lot from people, generations in the past. The older than me, that I can learn something from. We try to do that all the time.
Well, and it's so true. And at my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, I've been taught in the 3.5 years I've been here that we need to listen with our heart and with our spirit. You know, my temptation has been to, in years past, God's really working in my life in this way, to look at situations or conversations through the grid of analysis. And God wants us to get to a place where we're speaking out of our heart and where we're hearing from our heart. I will never forget, it was a transformational day for me. You know, we have corporate prayer at our church on Monday nights, and one time, not long after I'd been here, I had my head bowed and I was praying, Jim, and I sensed that there was somebody that was there. You know how it is, you just sense that somebody's there, like you might be in a dark gym and the lights are off, but you sense that somebody's there. That's our spirit sensing someone else. I sensed someone was there, and I looked up and there was my pastor. And she looked at me. This was a transformational moment. She looked at me and she took her finger and she tapped it on my forehead. And she preached a sermon in that moment. And the sermon that she preached in that moment was, "You are not going to find Jesus here." And it started a process of breaking down a lot of the systems that were in me. I mean, I was somebody that was desperate to play chess when I was too small to even know what all the chess pieces meant. And God has been bringing me to a place, Jim, even as we look at things politically in the world, He's been bringing me to a place of, don't go to that natural place, Butch. Go to your heart. And so it was in the spirit of that this morning that I was reviewing again our great presidents. You know, it's not wrong for, I don't care what the woke, this is the closest you're going to get me to being stirred up. I don't care what the woke culture officials or officers in our country say. This is a Christian nation.
Yes.
It was built upon a Christian foundation. There is no stripping away the foundations which are trying to be destroyed. And it says in Scripture, what will the righteous do? We'll run to the God of our salvation. Well, listen to what these American presidents said. Don't listen to what the Atlantic magazine says. Don't listen to what the Wall Street Journal says or the Washington Post says. Don't listen to whatever article has been shared with you by somebody that has no interest in knowing what truth is. This is actual quotations from presidents. Okay, Abraham Lincoln, we know who he was. In regard for this great book, meaning the Bible, I have this to say: it's the best gift God has given to man. All the good Savior gave to the world was communicated through this one book. Abraham Lincoln. Listen to this. Andrew Jackson, our 7th president. That book, sir, is the rock upon which our republic rests. That's our president. Woodrow Wilson. Listen to this. The Bible is the one supreme source of revelation of the meaning of life, the nature of God, and spiritual nature and needs of men. It is the only guide of life which really leads the spirit in the way of peace and salvation. America was born a Christian nation. America was born to exemplify that devotion to the elements of righteousness which are derived from the revelations of Holy Scripture. Woodrow Wilson. He was our 28th president. Listen to this. Calvin Coolidge. Now, I will say this. Calvin Coolidge is the one that I think it was an inaugural address. He said one time, when unemployment rises, more and more people are out of work. But having said that, he did make this brilliant statement. He said, the strength of our country is the strength of its religious convictions. The foundations of our society and our government rest so much on the teachings of the Bible, it would be difficult to support them if faith in these teachings would cease to be practically universal in our country. That was the 30th president. What about Franklin Roosevelt? We cannot read the history of our rise and development as a nation without reckoning with the place the Bible has occupied in shaping all the advances of the Republic, where we have been the truest and most consistent in obeying its precepts. We have attained the greatest measure of our country's contentment and prosperity. Franklin Roosevelt, 32nd president. And what about Harry Truman? He wasn't known for holding back, was he?
No, he wasn't.
The fundamental basis of this nation's laws was given to Moses on the Mount. The fundamental basis of our Bill of Rights comes from the teachings we get from Exodus and Matthew, from Isaiah and Paul. If we don't have a proper fundamental moral background, we will finally end up with a totalitarian government which does not believe in rights for anybody except the state. Harry Truman, our 33rd president. So for every person who has sadly had to snake through the bowels of America's public education system, wondering about the foul stenches of what's being taught, we have got to get the country back to a place where we remember first things, Jim. You talk about that often. Let's make the main thing the main thing.
Absolutely, and it's interesting to hear those quotations from great leaders in the past who believed that. You mentioned a while ago about people who don't see the good things that's happening in the country. People who are in the dark, the lights are turned off, they can't see that good thing. But when the lights begin to turn on, and they go to the Scripture, and they go to the Proverbs and the James, Book of James, and those kind of things for guidance, and not. That's when the light begins to turn on. We begin to see things from a different perspective. But when our lights are turned off, we can't see those things.
Right. And I've mentioned Mrs. Fletcher. You know, my teacher. She had at Baraka Baptist Church. It was in Hampton, Virginia, right next to Newport News, Virginia, in the Tidewater area of that state. You know, she taught me so much when I was young. She had one of those beehive hairdos. Do you remember?
I've seen those, yeah.
You know, I always kind of wondered. My mother had one too. And by the way, this is just an aside, and I've gotten over it, but I just remember that the smell of nail polish in the car or hairspray would almost be overwhelming when I was younger, Jim.
It used to be the style.
Yeah, so I don't know how they did it, but she had a beehive hairdo, and it was gray, and she would teach us. I remember she did this one extended series, and we're young children, in Revelation, and I just remember it really. I took to heart a lot of what she was saying, but she, instead of just having us sing songs, she would teach us what the songs were all about. So we would sing this one little song. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And we would sing that together, and then she would tell us what that meant. And she would talk about, you need to go into your classroom, and they need to see Jesus in you. And I'm grateful for that.
Yes.
I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for Mrs. Hammer in the 3rd grade encouraging all of us to buy savings bonds. And I remember getting those little stamps. Do you remember those?
I do.
I had a old, it could have been something else, but it was a cigar box, and I had all of my school things in my cigar box. I had my Ticonderoga #2 pencils in there. I had my rubber erasers. I had one of those compasses. You remember those?
Sure.
Oh, I did all kinds of Venn diagrams. I was making charts, and before we had whiteboards.
Yeah.
But I also remember, Jim, I had my savings bond little certificate in there, and you know, we'd pledge allegiance, and I remember teachers that had Bibles on their desk, and all of that is not something that soiled the path of my life. If anything, when my life was wandering later, Scripture's very real when it says, teach up a child in the way they should go. When they're old, they won't depart from it. I've had many digressing points in my heart, in my life, my choices, but those little tent pins, those tent stakes, even though my tent was just blown half apart, there were tethers that were there, Jim, and it came from a fortified, simple, foundational exposure to God's Word.
A lot can be said about planting those seeds early in our lives from our parents and ministers and teachers that believed in the positive thing. If you plant those seeds, somewhere along the way, those seeds are going to come to fruition. If those seeds are never planted, we grow up without any kind of nurturing at all. So my concern and my heartbreak today is the fact that so many of our students maybe are not getting those seeds. They're not being planted in their hearts about the right thing, or this is God's Word, or this is the American flag, this is the Bible. I pray that one day we will get back to that point of where the seeds are being planted. We can't reap all the seeds, but some of them will be reaped and benefited.
No question. That is so strong. And you know, speaking of seeds, there's a group of young people that are part of a blended family, and on Thursday nights, I try to take hold of them. So I go over and we do projects together. And we worked on a project that involved seeds. I went to Farmer's Friend here and got some seeds out of, they pour them out of the bag and you get them in a little bag. And so we put them in little cups together, six younger children. And their Uncle Butch comes over and we do projects together. And it's better than, it's better to get hold of a project where you can keep everybody busy. And so we put them in little cups and they grew. And then it was time. And then I got the word, you know what, they're straggly and they're big and they need to go into something else. So we made a garden with my dear young friend, a young man named Carson. And on my hands and knees, I was thinking to myself, Jesus said we've got to become like little children. We have to become like little children. And this is important every day for me to do because I know I've cut off God. Butch has cut off God if matters are seeming too complex. The gospel is simple. It's hard to say no to ourselves, but God's promised us, if we believe and receive and are truly born again, He's promised us the power to say no. And I've told Carson, no is like a muscle. No is like a muscle. The more you say no, even to things you could say yes to, it strengthens your resolve. But we were down on our hands and knees. We had to cut out a little garden plot that was there, and I took it as an opportunity, referencing what you were just saying about, communicating to our children and younger people. I said, Carson, this grass and these weeds are things that we have to get out of the garden before we can put these other things in. And I said, Carson, that's the way it is with God in our life. He wants to root out that crabgrass, pull out those weeds, that chickweed and those thistles, and till the soil. Why? So that He can plant what He wants to plant in our life. And you know what? Jesus spoke in parables. And I found with young children stories that come from the Bible. And the Bible's filled, for people who say the Bible's boring, they've never cracked the pages of the book. You'll find a whole lot more you'll find everything that will change your life in this. So don't be addicted to reality television programs when the living Word of God can be real in your own life. But I love time around children because they minister to me. Because I keep going back to, God, what do you want me to be?
You must have been talking to my wife. Because we have weeds around our flower beds that need to be pulled out, and we need to work on those weeds that are there.
Folks, you need to know this. Jim Bishop is smooth, and I'm not quite certain, but it feels like in friendship you just invited me over, not for dinner, but to see if that we, if you need help, I'll get a hold. We talk about getting a hold of things. I'll get a hold of that. The thing about weeds is you cannot deal with them cosmetically, and it's the same way it is with sin in our life. You can't deal with it cosmetically. Those weeds, you got to get down into the root. Right now, there's some rose bushes behind the house, and it got weeded. It got weeded in there, but there are these things that are strange things coming out of the rose bushes, and it's clear I did not get down to the root of those. And whether it's our own life,
good example.
Whether it's our own life or it's a nation, we've got to get to the root of things. I'm looking forward to meeting with a new friend, Hal. He's the district representative for Madison Cawthorn. I'll be meeting with him next week, and I did speak with him briefly about Madison being a guest on our program. We've got some guests that we're going to look at in the days ahead. And as we go into the dog days of summer in a couple of months here, we want to make sure that you know that the cool breeze of God's truth will come from this program and the encouragement that all of us need to stand together. Right now especially, I'm very concerned, which I know you deal with in the earlier part of the day, very concerned about division in the Republican Party. We got to lock arms, or we're going to find that we'll be in a house of cards that will collapse. But the word for today is that you can make a difference. You can make a difference. Don't look at the darkness and curse it. Bring the light of your life as an alternative to what we're seeing around us. And have people say, I don't know what they have in their life, but it's something that I want. And when you do that, you create a wonderful family environment, a wonderful church environment, a great community environment. And as we do that across the country, we end up having what we call My Great America.
Well said, my friend. See you next week.
See you next week.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.